you didn't get mad that I kind of stepped up and kind of said no jumper side when act, did you?
Here's my problem with that. It feels like there's all these nuisances and they'll be like on their deathbed, about to go away, shriveling up in the ball into a ball. Because you kind of did it with Sharp. You fooled Sharp into thinking that we wanted him back and gave him a little bit of content.
He's out of here.
And now it just feels like you kind of are doing the same thing. Like we had almost heard enough of these guys.
No,
it seemed like it was almost over.
This what I didn't respect.
And now you're sort of throwing us.
No, they were kind of like trying to insinuate like when Act comes out here, he come by the building.
Yeah, and I think they're salty about that.
And I think that he was trying to insinuate like Act can't come out here. So I'm like, what you mean he can't come out here?
No, he's with us.
Yeah, he with us.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So my thing is, wasn't they just added over there? Didn't you tell me the little group just broke up?
What group?
One of the little movements, you just told me.
Oh, well, I mean, allegedly the Ace Boys broke up, which is Pun's squad. Pun was saying they're coming back, though. I did see a clip.
But how does Pun have a squad?
Bunch of crib dudes that he hangs out with, that he does podcasts with. It's like a little mini no jumper, I guess. But they split off and they started their own thing.
But here's the thing.
Shout out my boy Rios.
Here's the problem with that over there, right? Nobody has stepped up to be the equivalent to AD over there. It's just real shit.
What does that mean to you?
They're just there.
A lot of, yeah.
I think the Mexican dude probably could do something.
Do you know?
Yeah.
But ironically, his podcast on their channel is like the worst viewed podcast that they have, which is kind of confusing.
I think maybe they're not respecting him being over there.
I don't think he really wants to be there. They had a whole thing where he called their live show ghetto, and they were like all really upset about it. I feel like the clock is ticking.
It feels like bro,
kind of over it.
It feels like a house with no grass in the front yard.
Yeah. Okay, but how do you feel? Because it's like, obviously, there was a clip of Pun and T-Rell where they call AD and basically make him say F Akademiks after Ak dissed Smack and T-Rell. Now, Ak went out of his way, I think, to not diss AD.
But who was Smack? That's the dude got his vest took?
Yeah, the little guy with 1 foot.
Yeah.
He actually gets money from the government.
What you mean 1 foot? He got a club foot?
He fell off a motorcycle when he was drunk and f***ed his foot up.
Recently?
Yeah, which is kind of crazy. Oh. Could you imagine how easy our lives would be if the government just gave us a big, juicy check every month? And we just got to live off that because we were just born a little,
See, with him... He called me about the taco lady.
Smacked it.
Yeah, he called me about her.
Okay.
Had me call in. We discussed it. And then I guess she got mad at him. He started breaking it down, apologizing to her as if, man, we don't stand with Wack on it. No, that ain't what you were saying when you had me call in. So when I saw that, it was weird. When I talked to him, he tells me, she knows his auntie and all this, and they got on him. And I'm like, your auntie got on you. What are you talking about? But I'm looking at the whole situation over there, and No Jumper hasn't done anything but rebuild itself. Right?
Which I feel like they're kind of in denial about the fact that we're obviously doing a lot better than they are.
Oh, this is the team is strong.
Yeah. Right now, I think, honestly, is probably the high point for the brand in its history, to me, is right now, in terms of content.
The team is strong. And I really don't know. AD's going to always be all right. He could do his on his own, but the rest of them, I don't think they have yet to establish themselves.
Yeah, it feels like they left No Jumper to start this channel, and the channel seems like an afterthought. Like they don't really put that much effort or time into it. They're all focused on their own things. And I mean, the weird part about it, all right, so they did the stream last night where they were kind of reacting to Ak, and T-Rell's trying to act tough and talking about Ak like he ain't shit, even though we all know that until about 24 hours ago, T-Rell was shamelessly on Akademiks'
straight up, like, pro Ak.
I honestly think when I brought T-Rell around Akademiks the first time I did Akademiks,
he started jumping up and down.
I think that changed his life. Like right there, the level of awe that he had, because people forget about T-Rell that he always makes it out like he was this big successful businessman when he came to No Jumper. There's a vlog where he says, I was just so happy to even be at No Jumper. I would have took a job washing the toilets. That's what he says.
Who?
T-Rell. That's what he says in this old vlog, that he would have took a job washing the toilets here. It even says in the title of the vlog, I went to No Jumper, life goal accomplished or some shit like that. Like, he didn't have shit going on, basically, was what I'm saying. When he came to No Jumper.
What was his first conversation with you when he came?
He was actually on the podcast a bunch of times before I even really had a conversation with him, because he was just sort of like one of AD's buddies or whatever. And then I started to notice the fact that he was resonating with the audience. And so I start working to try to build him up. I'm doing podcasts with him. We're doing interviews together. I'm trying to get him on other podcasts and stuff like that. Like, and then, he chose to leave. And I'm going to be honest, it's all been pretty much downhill since then. And you want to know why I think it's really fucked up is because, so the girl that he's engaged to, Heather, she had this clothing line called Sorella, right?
Yeah. They had a store.
They had a store on Melrose, which was
Melrose.
the old Last King store.
Corner,
when Tiger left T-Rell basically switched it over to his girl's name, and then they had the girls' store.
Yeah.
I saw a post about this on the Reddit, but they haven't updated their Instagram in like 6 months. Everything on the website is 80% off. Like I think she was paying his way through life ever since he filed bankruptcy, and now I think she's broke. And so now they're two brokies together. And so I think that's why he's acting like he's kind of enjoying this whole Akademiks thing. But I think he's really fucked up. He knows that everything is kind of crumbling around him. And when you watch him on the podcast, you can kind of see it in his body language that he knows that the jig is up.
So you don't think they're making money over there?
I think when you look at the way they were doing at No Jumper while also being able to do their own thing, that was clearly a better position for them to have been in. And I think if there wasn't so much pride and ego in it, that they probably would have already came back. I mean, honestly, I think if I hadn't dissed them, they probably already would have came back. Because you've seen Vlad and Lord Jamar, they're back together after 5 years apart. I was looking at that and I'm thinking I wonder how long it's going to take before that happens.
Do you think it's even room for them over here? Do they even fit?
I just don't think that. I think if you put someone like T-Rell next to a you or a Munchie or even a Lush or a, whoever, I just don't think anyone would be all that impressed. I think everybody would be looking at him as the dumb guy in the room, which is Smack was supposed to be the dumb guy to T-Rell being the smart guy. I feel like T-Rell would seem like the inbred step cousin here. I feel like I don't think he stands out to their fan base even. I was reading the comments on that episode that they did last night. Bro, they have a hate fan base now. The fan base doesn't really fuck with them anymore, which is crazy because when they were at No Jumper, they were beloved. And that apparently seems to have really dissipated.
Yeah, well, end of the day.
But I don't really pay attention to it.
Listen, man. I mean, we gave it a little attention, a little time.
It's really how they want to play it. Because think about it. If you're Ak, look at all Ak's got to do. Ak does 9-hour streams like it's no big deal. There's a lot that I didn't utilize. You as an exposer, you end up with a lot of source material. And you don't end up putting it all out because sometimes it feels like I'd rather wait and let this cook. If Ak wants to do 8 hours on T-Rell,
you got the content.
I could send him a handful of documents and a handful of different notes. Look into this, do research on this. He could send T-Rell's entire life into a tailspin. I don't think T-Rell wants to smoke.
T-Rell, we need a cash app.
The only reason that I didn't do a lot of this stuff that I could have done was just because I felt like it looked too petty at a certain point.
No, we need a cash app.
People don't necessarily really want to see me go this hard.